guys, I'm turning 27 on Sunday, March 24, and wow, I also just realized it's my champagne year because it's 2024, March 24. Okay, that literally just clicked in my head. Wow, that's really exciting. I'm turning 27 and so many things have changed in my life. Even within the past couple of months, I first experienced my grandma passing, and it was the first time that I've experienced anybody in my immediate family pass really unexpectedly. That happened on January 2nd, and ever since that happened, I really felt like my world was rocked. I had a lot of grief and pain and confusion, but also incredible amount of love, gratitude, joy. A lot of my community came close together. I felt so connected to my friends and family, and I really think that is one of the benefits of having somebody pass, is that you really feel a lot of love and support, and it puts life into perspective. So in this episode, I wanted to share a couple of experiences, kind of like video diary style, I guess, of thoughts, lessons, things I've learned during my 26th year on Earth, because honestly, turning 26 was truly one of the best years of my entire life. So many growing pains, but so much fulfillment and spiritual growth as well, and I really wanted to jump into that. So the first thing is prioritizing the truth will set you free every single time. And whatever outcome happens is meant for the greater good and is the greater good. I think this lesson hit me a lot through and through, over and over again throughout all my relationships. I've had a lot of hard and tough conversations this year, whether it was with my therapist, myself, friendships, parents, family, and as somebody who used to be extremely avoidant, it was first nature to me to really just not have those really tough conversations, or to even bring up feelings of pain or sadness. Because honestly, telling somebody that they hurt me was a hard experience, and typically something I would never communicate and just keep to myself until things kind of built up and would escalate and explode in some way. But I don't want to do that anymore. I've learned and experienced and seen people who are way, way more avoidant than me suffer 10 times more consequences because of the way that they avoided the truth or did not come to accept the truth. And just because you avoid something doesn't mean it doesn't exist or it isn't real. Having hard conversations are necessary. I think they're definitely a sign of maturity and honesty and authenticity, and it also builds trust with yourself, knowing that you can handle whatever outcome comes through an honest conversation, but also knowing and having faith that the truth is the truth is the truth. You can't change the truth. Being able to communicate and accept that is really the only efficient way to thoroughly go through a hard experience and solve a problem. Also, how would you know what to solve if there isn't a baseline of truth and the discovery of what that problem is in the first place? Surround yourself with people whose opinions are different than you. I like this one a lot because one thing that I've learned this year is to be open-minded and to prioritize, again, the truth and learning. And so I recognize that a lot of, even the content you consume is tailored for you, and it validates your own thoughts through the algorithm that is created for you, but it also creates this crazy echo chamber and this weird separation from others by constantly having your own beliefs and thoughts and ideas, yes, validated, but also it prevents you from stepping out of your comfort zone and questioning your own beliefs. And the beliefs we often do not question are typically the ones we already have. I think being an open-minded person leads to being a more well-rounded person, a more cultured person as well. And so I've really enjoyed being around people and hearing other people's opinions that actually are complete opposite than me. I want to expand my mind. I want to grow. I want to learn. And I don't want to have that cognitive dissonance. I want to be able to explore what the truth really is, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's something I don't want to hear. Again, the truth will always set you free, no matter what it is. The bigger the responsibility and the bigger the sacrifice, the greater the meaning, the greater the fulfillment. This is a lesson that hits me time and time again, over and over again, especially when it comes to the commitment and devotion of building a family, taking care of your family, and also choosing to be a entrepreneur / business owner. Being able to take care of and also be a part of something that is greater than you, such as a community and family and purpose and idea, and having a vision of the future and being a part of that future, being able to contribute to that future through sacrifice and through responsibility. That itself creates huge meaning, purpose, joy, and fulfillment. Lately, I've been in the mindset of, wow, I get to contribute this. I get to add value to my friends and family's lives. I have the privilege of solving these very specific problems because of the knowledge and the sacrifices I made in the past to have access to certain people, to have access to certain resources. All the hardship, all the pain, all the uncertainty, all of that is so worth it when you see the fruits of your labor come together. The decision to be an entrepreneur was so solidified in me on New Year's Day, when me and my family got the news that my grandma had a heart attack, and she lives in California, which is like a 3-hour plane ride away from Vancouver. My immediate reaction was, oh my gosh, Mom, like, we need to go right now. And my parents, who are first-gen immigrants, have always had this reluctance of spending a lot of money and also worrying about money throughout their lives. And for me, it was my moment to really step in, especially in a state of emergency, and provide for my family and make sure that we made that trip to see my grandma before she passed, because at the time we had no idea if she was going to survive or not. And so my little brother couldn't make it because he had school, he had work, and my dad couldn't make it because he had work. And luckily my mom had holiday time off. But for me, I'm extremely mobile because I have my own schedule. And the reason I wanted to be a business owner was for that flexibility, for that freedom, and that endless earning potential that isn't attached to your time, right? So I flew me and my mom out that same night when we got the news. I took care of my mom that entire trip. It was really hard, but I was her rock. And in those moments, I felt extremely aligned and proud of the decision to choose the hard and unconventional route, especially in cases of emergency and chaos like that. You just never know. And that is why I do what I do, because ultimately I never want my family to struggle ever again. And if you're a first-gen immigrant like me, you know exactly what I mean. The amount of hard work and sacrifice our parents had to make to come to Canada and to make a life here, ditching everything back home, like, that kind of love, that's a different type of love. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. And I think it's a privilege to have this kind of responsibility, because you're able to contribute and just care and love other people just as much as yourself, if not be a part of something greater than yourself. Overconsumption leaves you feeling empty. If I could only go back to 17-year-old me who just got her first retail job at the mall, if I could tell her one thing, it would be to please save your money, because that addiction of overconsumption does nothing but fuel a temporary dopamine hit, and maybe you will feel good about yourself a little bit. Again, very temporarily, maybe you'll get that validation of looking good or finally getting those shoes that you want. But the amount of, girl, I swear, I would be like a multimillionaire if I took all that money that I spent in my teens and early 20s, the amount I spent on like clothes, makeup, beauty, skincare, all these products that I've eventually just ended up reselling or donating or not even using. I wish I knew better, And I'm glad that I experienced it over the years, but girl, overconsumption, at the end of it, it is really just an empty feeling, an addiction that you continuously have to do to feel something. And we did talk about this in a previous video, but I did talk about how overconsumption stems from insecurity and wanting to feel purpose and happiness. And truthfully, material things will never ever give you that, which comes back to the whole idea of responsibility and sacrifice. Overconsumption can make you feel temporarily confident, temporarily good, but when you take off that makeup, when you aren't wearing those new clothes, whoever you are, wherever you are, there you are. That fulfillment and that happiness comes from inside. And there's no external thing that will heal you or mend you if you don't do that inner work. That brings me to my next point, is that insecurity will destroy you. It will destroy you and all your relationships, from the negative self-talk to the subconscious beliefs to projecting your insecurities on other people, the jealousy, the envy, the self-sabotage. Ugh, that's the worst. Being insecure sucks. Like, it's probably one of the top 10 worst feelings that a woman could experience or have. And the worst part about being insecure is how selfish you become when you are insecure. It's like you think that the world revolves around you, that people are judging you all the time, that you're just so in your head about the way that you're perceived or the way that you are received. You're unable to almost get out of your head and think about others and get into the mindset of generosity and giving when you're always thinking about yourself all the time first. Insecurity is really a disease. It really hurts not only you, but it hurts other people. And sometimes you can't even tell when it hurts other people. One thing that I've really learned this year and last year is that I cannot be friends with insecure women, because their insecurities will always be projected onto you. And no matter what you say or what you do, you won't have control of the way that they think or the way that their minds work. And so no matter what you do or how much effort you put into the friendship, whether it's a little or a lot, it will always get taken out of context and even out of your good intentions, and will be misinterpreted through their lens of insecurity and their negative self-talk. And insecure friendships and relationships are just very exhausting. And also, it's not your responsibility to fix your insecure friend, or else it's going to just leave you exhausted and just high and dry. Even thinking about it exhausts me, and it really does dim your light. I think if you are an insecure girl, please go to therapy. Please, I am begging you. I bet maybe even your friends and family, if they love you, they will be honest and truthful with you and say, girl, you need to go to therapy. You need to talk about and work through all of this you got going on, because it will damage yourself and it will damage all your relationships. And it's okay. You know, everybody goes through it. Everybody is human. We are all self-conscious and all insecure. But it is a choice and a decision to do the work and work on it and show up as the best version of you, not just for yourself, but also for other people in your life, because they deserve that, and so do you. And that is a gift that you want to give them. You know, you cannot change the past, but you can change your perspective on it. You can choose whether to see the past in a good light and a bad light, and the meaning and the lessons that you received from that experience. You get to choose what that looks like and what it means to you. And the best part is that you can do that anytime. So if you have a memory or if you have a traumatic experience, you can go through that memory again as your present self and not your past self, as that has happened, but your present self, and you can go back and forgive yourself. You can choose that. You can choose to let it go. You can choose to let the anger the pain, the hurt mean something different, and take what you need from that experience to have a more positive and efficient and productive outlook on those memories. Maybe even you can look back on those memories and realize, what is my part in this? What did I do in this situation that can teach me to not repeat in the future and not make the same mistakes? Which is the perfect segue onto the next lesson, which is that you can't learn without taking accountability and admitting that you're wrong. Having the humility to accept that you don't know everything and that you can still learn and do better as a human, I think is everything. We're all imperfect. We're all learning together. And so it takes two to tango, in every memory in the past or even in the present. I know that you can take accountability for some of the things that you did and might not have known better at the time. That's where self-compassion comes in. That's where you can say, well, I was doing the best I was with everything that I knew at the time, and I know better now, and that's okay. But you won't be able to learn and grow from those mistakes unless you admit that you were wrong and that you did have some part in the situation. Your femininity as a woman is really one of your greatest strengths and one of your biggest superpowers. Embracing my femininity has completely changed my life. It's changed the way that I work, the way that I communicate, the way that I've built relationships with others, and overall my energy and attitude towards being more open to receiving and asking for help, having a more go with the flow mindset instead of everything having to be super planned out and structured, really just listening to my gut more and intuitively feeling and listening to my body and going with the flow of my cycle and embracing being a woman, embracing having different hormones at different weeks and stages of the month. I made another episode about that, so I'll link that down below if you want to learn how to embrace your femininity more in order to live a softer and more relaxed life. All that matters at the end of the day is making memories and spending time with the people that you love. Your time is so valuable because you will never ever get that back, whereas money will always come and will always go. This year, one of my biggest goals is to really invest and build my community and to bring people together, to create really fun get-togethers and events for my family and friends, and for everybody to feel safe and feel loved and connected. We are currently in a loneliness epidemic, which is really, really sad if you think about it, considering we are probably the most connected we've ever been. And so the strength and quality of those relationships and community changes your life. It changes the quality of your life. It changes the way you emotionally regulate, the way that you communicate. It impacts your confidence. It impacts your opportunities. It impacts the way you grow, learn, and think. And so in the past year, I've stepped back from working so much, like becoming a workaholic. I've really stopped doing that and have really prioritized my relationships and my family and my friends. Your health is your wealth. Okay, if you are able-bodied, if you can talk, if you're not sick today, if you can get up and walk, you are blessed. You are truly blessed. You are so lucky to have a body that moves, that breathes properly. Listen, when my allergies come around in the springtime, it is the worst. Like, even being sick for a week, everything shuts down. If you are not sick this week, that is a blessing. So please don't take that for granted. Everything you eat and put onto your body, it compounds over time. Those diseases slowly compound. You owe it to yourself to invest in your dreams fully, truly, and with all your heart. Build something meaningful and aim high and see where the fruits of your labor will take you. You really do owe that to yourself, especially because we have one life here and we're only on this earth for such a short period of time. we don't know how many birthdays we have left, you know? So that is some food for thought. I'm really excited to turn 27 on Sunday. I honestly can't believe how fast time flies. Like, the fact that we're already almost in April is insane. From here on out, I am working on prioritizing on also celebrating my birthday more. This is something that I typically don't arrange for myself, honestly. This is the first time in my life that I am bringing my childhood friends, my adult friends, and my family together in one room. It'll be super fun. Shout out to Florence and my best friends for hosting this incredible birthday brunch with me and for me. I feel very loved by all of you. I love you guys so much. I always make sure to celebrate my friends' birthdays and to go all out for them, but for some reason, up until this year, I haven't had the opportunity to plan a big thing for my birthday, and so that's something new for me. I want to bring my loved ones together, and it's kind of crazy because last year my family and I were planning my grandma's 85th birthday, which is one of her big birthdays this year, and that is in June, and unfortunately that never happened, which is why every day is a gift. You know, every day is a blessing. And so while every year passes, that is something worth celebrating. This is definitely more of a different type of episode. If you're new here, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. My name is Isabel. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, wellness, and self-love for ambitious women. So if that's your vibe, come subscribe on YouTube. And we are also on every podcast platform. I hope you have an amazing week and are enjoying the super sunny weather. I'll see you on next week's episode. Bye.